What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Fast Life Podcast. I'm sitting here in Reno, Nevada with my buddy Brian from TPJ. We stayed at his house last night. Good times, hanging out, catching up. We did a podcast. That's not this one, but you'll be getting that one soon as well. This trip's been great so far. We've been, pretty much having a good time the entire time. Our buddy Matt's been having some issues with his bikes, but fortunately, the different towns that we have been going through have really provided a lot of help for us. So it's been pretty good time. So, anyway, I'd like to get into this and thank John Jessup at Dream Rides for, really doing a lot for the motorcycle community. Right now, he's currently out there doing Maggie Valley or on his way home from that. So I was pretty jealous, and sucks I'm going to be in Stockton in an hour or two and he's not there. So if you're out there, if you live out there, then you're pretty fortunate to have such a talented shop that can do so much stuff to your bike, from bike sales, dyno tuning, full service builds. I mean, he's got it all covered. And if you're not out there, you can always check him out at teamdreamrides.com and get yourself something set up for your bike. And you can use Fast Life at checkout and save yourself, I think it's 10%. Yeah. I also want to thank Big Bear Performance. Kevin has really done a lot for us and getting our bike dialed in with this Olin suspension, which I'm absolutely loving. Just on this trip, just the amount of miles that we've put down on this bike so far and how smooth it is, from just the everyday straight riding and absorbing the road to carving the canyons and the mountains that we've been climbing on. So it's worth every penny, in my opinion. So if you want to get into some more information about it, go to bigbearperformance.com. You can also give Kevin a call at 909-478-7788 and let him give you a little bit more technical input or insight on what this suspension can really bring to the table for you. You know what I mean? So give him a holler, check him out, bigbearperformance.com. Also want to thank my boy Mark at Texas Performance MC for keeping my bike on the road and keeping us, just making it. He's worked on a lot of the bikes that are sitting here at this on this event, and does really great work. So if you're down in the Austin, Texas area, hit up Mark, let him, go through your bike, maybe see what you want to do to it, see what he can do to make it better and this, that, and the other. And, give him a follow on Instagram at Texas Performance MC. And you can check out his website as well at texasperformancemc.com. I also want to thank my man, Brian, Paint Huffer Metal Flake. Hopefully we'll be seeing him at Born Free in a couple days and catching back up. Always good times hanging out with him. But you can also check him out at Paint Huffer Metal Flake on Instagram and painthuffer.com if you want to check out some of the products they sell. Also, for all you custom painters out there, you can go to the website painthuffer.com and use Fast Life at checkout and save 15% off. That's a pretty good deal when you start bundling up some of the things that you're going to need anytime you paint bikes. So check them out, give them a follow, and don't forget about that code FASTLIFE at checkout, 15% off. Also, on this trip, I've really got a chance to break in these Lindahl rotors and shit. So you really can't go wrong with that stuff. I've actually ran their products on almost every bike I've built over the last 2 years. And I say built, customized over the last 2 years. And, the products work well. They look great. And you really can't go wrong with it. So, if you want to check them out at lindahlbrakes.com, you can use, also we have a code FASTLIFE for 10% off on your brake pads, wheels, and brake rotors, all kinds of stuff. So it really helps out in the long run, especially if you're going with the rotors and things like that. And what's great about these new bikes is, like, the wheels look great. So if you just add their rotors in, the bike looks custom as shit. So you really can't go wrong with that. You can also follow them at Lindahl Brakes on Instagram. And, give them a follow, check them out, and, use that code FASTLIFE. So, this trip's been a great time, man. Like, we've been just all over the place so far, and we talk, this podcast is all my buddies that are on this trip with us currently. And we just pretty much go over the things that we've been doing and experiencing from preparing for this trip to the first 2 days is basically what we talked about. And we're in day 5 as we speak. We're in Reno, about to head over to the Bay Area, or NorCal, whatever you want to call it. And we still have a lot of time to go, so I'm hoping to, we're going to sit down again and gather our thoughts again about the last, 5 or 6 days, which have been pretty eventful, but it's going to be a good time. Also, if you guys are interested, man, go check out our website, fastlifegarage.com. And you can check out our podcasts, our work, and links to all our social media accounts. And you can also check out our Patreon, which is the more or less lifeline to the podcast and the growth of the podcast. So, if you guys are interested and you want to donate $1, $5, $10, whatever it is you're interested in, We appreciate that. And we're working on getting some giveaways and stuff for our Patreon members as this stuff has been growing quite well over the last, couple of months, actually. And so, the sponsors that we're getting reached out from, and they're really bringing, things to the table that are going to help us like make this a much more elaborate, and I don't even know the right word. It's just going to be bigger and better, and things are on the up and up. So a lot of that's to you guys, man. Just I thank you all for reaching out to the companies that we bring on and the sponsors that we have, and you that's what helps keep us going. Even if you don't do the Patreon stuff, man, like when our sponsors are getting something for what they give us, then that helps us continue to have them. So we really appreciate everything you guys do as listeners. So thank you. Anyway, I don't want to drag this out too long. I'm just really trying to get this out for you guys so you can hear something from us. And, well, here it is. This is us.
Hey, guys. You ready to let the dogs out?
Fast Life Podcast
All right, we're here. We're fucking in, where are we at? Slit? Skank? What is this place?
I thought it was Golden Springs.
No.
We are.
It's Slat.
Silt,
yeah.
Silt, Colorado.
Silt, goddamn Colorado.
Right by Rifle.
Yeah. We almost made it to Rifle. Shit, man.
Almost made it to Steamboat Springs, too.
Well, we wanted to do this podcast, obviously, to talk, just to like let everybody like introduce you guys to the listeners. Let's kind of get an idea of like each one of y'all's individual, what do you call it, like want to do this trip, you know what I mean, like what inspired you, that kind of bullshit. And then we'll just talk about like the shit that's gone down for the last 2 days, basically. So I had some notes that I wrote. I'm trying to be super prepared. But I guess we'll just basically start like this. We'll start at James. We'll go around, introduce yourselves, and then we'll get into like the questions, and then we'll get into the shooting the shit, and then
It'll work.
Get it rolling. So
get it to work. All right. Well, I'm James, and I ride motorcycles. No, I'm the guy. I'm the anti-industry guy. I'm the guy that doesn't work in the profession but live the life. I've been riding for 15 years. Love to ride. Love to do anything with two wheels, really. And
what do you do for a living?
I'm a banker.
Banker.
A banker. No, I work in finance, and I've done that for 16 years as well. But this to me is not like the weekend hobby. It is kind of what I enjoy doing in my spare time. And I wouldn't necessarily say I'm the wrench or anything of that nature. I'm kind of more like the cold trickle of the group, if you will. I ride the shit out of something, but don't ask me how to fix it because I ain't got that answer for you.
Yeah.
But
T-Bar Jesus is for.
Yeah. Everybody but. But no, that's me.
All right.
Cody, East Texas, pretty much.
Big Wheel Cody.
Big Wheel Cody.
Big Wheel Cody B.
I guess it's a little wheel now for the lowrider, but
we'll get you a new name soon. I'm working on it.
Pretty much grew up riding. I raced four-wheelers growing up. Just kind of been around riding dirt bikes, racing, just anything with motors, really. Mm-hmm. Raced dirt track cars for a while. And just I work in the oil field, so I'm not a mechanic or nothing like that either. So it's kind of a different culture, especially meeting all you guys. The last I've known y'all for like 8 months now. Met you at the first camp out. So of course
started at a camp out, now we're here.
Yeah, Jace painted the big wheel, so that's kind of how we all met. But just pretty much redneck from East Texas, so likes to ride. And I got my first Harley, I guess, in 15. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of my buddies here from East Texas, they, we all talked about it for a while, and then we all got on, followed suit, and just been riding, hitting up what we could here and there on, especially like Jacob over here, trying to get him days off. It's hard because he don't have a real schedule. He ain't working, he ain't making no money. I'm the fortunate guy enough to work for the oil company, so I have vacation and all that good fancy stuff.
Yeah. What about you, Matt?
Let's see. Matt over here, been riding off and on friends' dirt bikes growing up and messing around with that, getting really hands-on, building stuff. Do body work for a living. Been doing that for almost 15 years now. And actually, me and my wife, we both got our Harleys a couple years back, and it's pretty nice trying to get her to ride and everything like that. And so been following Jace with his paint work. I'm really big into paint and everything, and I've done some here and there on my own, but saw that he was doing a meetup one time, so I came out and just started hanging out, and then we started doing bike night and hanging out with them, and now I'm here.
What about you?
Dirty Larry.
My name's Larry. I'm from East Texas. I also work in the oil field. Been riding bikes all my life, dirt bikes. Got on some sport bikes for a while, then finally graduated to a Harley.
Yeah. When I first met you, you were on a was it Gunship Gray or Battleship Gray CVO?
Yeah, I had one of those. Yeah.
And you got rid of it to get a fat bob.
Yeah, bruh.
Want to have fun, man. We do a lot of in-town riding.
Yeah.
A lot of stupid stuff, and you can't really do nothing fun on a street glide.
You got a taste of that camp out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun at the camp out, and everybody was all willy-nilly going down there. And
yeah, you didn't go to the first one, right?
Nah, I didn't. I didn't know you then.
So, what would you? What was it, I guess what was the real reason that made you want to go on to the get rid of the CVO?
I wanted something faster, so I went ahead and got that bike and had the motor built.
Yeah,
it's a lot cheaper to go faster on something lightweight.
Yeah,
it takes a lot of money to get a CVO quick.
Yeah,
and all my friends had faster bikes, and it's pissing me off. So I just went ahead and did it.
Yeah, cool. What about you?
Man, my name's Jacob. I've also been riding off and on most of my life, dirt bikes, four-wheelers. Got into Harleys probably about 5 years ago, about the same time Cody did. Just something I really enjoy.
Yeah.
We also work in the oil field. So like Cody was
East
saying,
Texas.
East Texas.
Damn.
So what do you do out there if you don't, like, what are the options for men?
If you don't go to college, you go to the oil field.
For real?
Oh, East Texas, you're either military or oil field.
Yeah, pretty much. If you don't go to college to get a degree for something good, then I know a lot of people that have went and got degrees for something and still end up in the oil field.
Family business.
I mean, it's just for a young person to make a good living. I mean, it's just a quick money deal.
So,
yeah.
It's an allure to fast money. It's hard to get out of.
Yeah. Once you're in it, you're hooked and you're stuck.
Y'all all got big ass trucks and shit.
No.
Used to.
No.
I grew up a little
down
bit.
The Harleys.
Cool. So I guess we'll start over here. What was like me and you, James, we've been talking for a while about doing this trip, and so what for you was like the catalyst to make you want to do this trip? You know what I'm saying? Like the going west, the doing the camping that we're doing now, which I guess, by the way, we're at a KOA campsite in. Did we decide on the name? Silt,
Colorado.
Silt, Colorado.
Yeah.
It's right along the Colorado River, and then in about equal distance is what's that highway?
70.
70.
Interstate 70.
Yeah, so Interstate 70. So
It was goddamn majestic today.
Yeah.
Oh man, from Vile.
we'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll talk on that, but no.
Not Vile.
What?
Vale.
Vale, whatever.
Yeah.
Vile?
Told you I was a dumb oil field worker.
Look at that East Texas.
For me, man, I think it was a combination of a lot of things. more than anything, it was probably just a realization as far as how I wanted to live my life as a grown-up. I kind of have had a couple different stages in my life, and the stage that I am in currently, I'm a transplant from Minneapolis, and I moved to Texas 6 years ago. And I would say a handful of years prior to that, I kind of discovered myself in a way as an adult, and it really transpired into the direction of where my life took me, and some of those decisions in my life took me to Texas, which ultimately allowed me to essentially ride year round. It was a major difference in that regard, because I mean,
you were still riding the other bike up in
up north up north you ride as much as you can, but it's very limited. You ride on decent weather days. You ride only during a certain period of time during the calendar. It's much different. So when you come down south, it definitely opens up a lot of different avenues and opportunities. And in the 6 years that I've been in Texas, I feel like I've kind of just been searching for as many windows of opportunity as I could. And ultimately what ended up happening as far as like us getting together is we met actually through the damn internet, but we got together and we just kind of clicked, man, right from day one. So it's been growing ever since then. And as far as why that got me here,
fucking rednecks out here in Colorado,
really,
They followed us.
I think it's kind of just it's just a result of us getting together and spending more time, and actually a lot of times what you and I personally do is we kind of bounce inspiration and ideas off of one another, and when we talk about things like this, it gets us both really excited and
motivated,
to be able to do stuff like that, and to do it with some of the closest people that we spend time with. It's just a great chance, a great opportunity to really find some of that freedom that I think all of us long for, especially as adults.
Is that redneck?
No.
Okay.
Trash truck or something?
Yeah, it's almost like, once we set that bike night up, I mean, I think the bike night really is what inspired a lot of all of us sitting around this table.
It was a big catalyst.
So the bike night brought us. God damn. Sorry, listeners. This is the first time we've done an outside podcast, but y'all don't have headphones on, so like I hear everything amplified the way it is normally in here. I'm just like, people are gonna be pissed, but oh well. It's like doing the bike night, sitting there every fucking week, drinking beer, making plans. And trust me, since April of last year when we started doing the bike night till now, like how much we've done, so much shit just locally in Texas, even with you guys from East Texas. It really has turned in a lot of things. And I mean, we kind of went from like, hey, let's go party in Austin this weekend, to hey, let's ride 14 days across the country. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hell
But, totally, pretty much. So what was it for you, Cody? Like, what was really...
Man, like I said, I mean, we try to get out, ride as much as we can. Like I said, between my buddies, getting days off, and then, just trying to find the time in between work and all the other crap, just getting everybody together and trying to do something. And then me and Jacob, we went to Sturgis last year. Larry was with us. We didn't get to ride. We had 7 people with us, so we took the motorhome up there, and we trailered everything. But I just got the big wheel back. Actually got it 2 days before we left for Sturgis. So it was kind of like a time crunch and all that. And I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of scared to ride it up there because didn't want something happening. Haven't rode it yet.
It's a full air ride, front and rear, all that shit. So it's a 30-inch wheel,
right? But man, just
so what was the thing that, like, I mean, like, had you, before you kind of met us, had you ever considered doing anything like this?
Absolutely. Yeah, we me and Jacob talk about it all the time, just the places we want to go. We want to go West Coast, East Coast, of course Sturgis. So we did that. I think Sturgis was probably the highest on our list. So when we got opportunity to do a big deal like that, that's the first one we jumped on. So, you know, and then when met you guys and y'all started talking about, you know, Cali Trip and all this, you know, I think it just inspired us to, like I was telling, you know, just talking to them. Yeah,
we were kind of booked on people going,
right?
You know what I mean?
Right.
And then, you know, you guys reached out and were like, yeah, y'all want to do it? And we were like, fuck, man, we already got 6 people going. It's hard to.
And y'all had already booked a lot of that stuff.
So we had booked everything, and it was hard to, you know, it's hard to find places that can hold more than 6 people, like an Airbnb or a big hotel room. And hell, even campsites can sometimes be a bitch to, you know, let us all get in and do what we do. But
right.
But then, you know, like we've been planning this trip since December.
December at least.
Yeah, I think December is when we sat down and like started putting all our ideas on paper and figuring out the route and the times. And then we kind of put it out there. Lost my little thing again. We kind of put it out there, and then you know, you guys reached out. You were like, oh, you know, we want to fucking go. And I'm like, god damn, like it's gonna be 10, you know, 9 people after that. You know what I mean?
And I think around January, I think around the Easy Rider shows when we all kind of sat down and talked about it pretty serious. You know, it was like, well, you know, if we can't stay with y'all every night, or I mean, you know, we'll just find something close, and you know, we're just gonna like kind of tag along. But you know, it kind of ended up working out. I mean, not hate to say that for Kyle and Jaden.
Yeah,
but, you know, but
it was an unfortunate series.
Unfortunate, but it, you know, it worked out. Where
it did.
What y'all started putting up money like January, right? So So when they fell out, you know, when Kyle had his wreck and Jaden had his wreck, then y'all really was kind of looking for 2 people, but we had 3 interested. So I mean, we just kind of made it work.
It kind of sucks because, like, I mean, when you're doing a trip like this, it's like you really do want it to be open to just anybody or whatever, or just a lot of people. But I mean, that's the theory that you would think in your mind of like this whole biker culture is like, oh yeah, the more the merrier. But realistically,
more
like,
is not always better.
It gets tougher. Yeah,
it gets harder. You know, and I mean, it's, as we're already finding out, it's hard to. The more people, the more potential for bike problems, the more potential for breakdowns or wrecks or, you know, any of those kind of things that all kind of have a tendency to put you backtracking. And, you know, even though we've done, you know, James done a good job of like handling all of our reservations everywhere.
Fantastic.
From like, you know, it's a lot of work that goes into these trips, especially like long ones. I mean, if you want to just jump on a bike and go to Cali, you could do that easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? But if you're trying to be gone for 14 days and you're trying to like see all the shit we're trying to see, like you got to plan shit. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So, what about you, Matt? What was the?
So, I mean, I grew up traveling on vacation and stuff with my parents when I was younger. So I liked going around, seeing different things. But I don't know. It's just one of those things when I was in Scouts doing that, and it felt more, I don't know, just like a more humbling experience, you know, being there in nature and everything.
Yeah.
Same thing with the bike. You're out breathing that air, smelling, seeing all the different things, and feeling the wind push you around. It's it's just one of those. I mean, like this trip is so far just 2 days in, has been one of my favorite trips so far. So it's.
And so you got to travel a lot growing up. So like, you know, I guess is it just this the first time on a motorcycle you've got to kind of go far and do things and see the world this way or the country this way?
Yeah. I mean, to big places that I've been wanting to go for a long time. Yeah, it's the first time doing that, but riding around town or going, you know, across the state isn't anything compared to crossing multiple state lines and being where you can really get in a serious situation if something happens. So, you know, I went to Canada when I was a kid, and we were sort of like left out, you know, in the wild by ourselves. We were in boundary waters. It's no motorized vehicles or anything. If you got stuck out there, you had to get outside of that just to get a care flight or anything. Yeah. So that, I don't know, it's just one of those things like camping.
Were they just trying to take you deep in the woods to rape y'all, or how's that working?
I might have been touched. I don't know.
Survival.
I was too young.
Too young to remember, or too young to realize if you like it or not?
They said it was okay.
Did you get a badge for it?
No badges. I was gypped.
What about you, Larry?
Man, the majority of my riding's been around Texas. I don't get out that much, so Cody was telling me about y'all's trip to California. I've always wanted to see that lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then what better way to do it on a motorcycle with my friends, you know?
So have you been, like, traveled much in general, or have you been any places we're going or been?
Oh, no. No, I don't travel much. I've been, when I was a little kid, we took some vacations up north and we traveled through, but I was so young to remember. You know, we went to Las Vegas when I was probably 6 years old.
Have you been to Vegas yet since?
Well, I got an opportunity to fly out to Vegas about 6 years ago and stayed for 2 nights, but it wasn't that fun. Went with the right group of people.
Yeah.
So I'm real looking forward to hanging out with y'all and seeing what.
Those edibles kicking in yet?
Yeah. I didn't know if y'all could tell or not.
Colorado, baby.
Well,
One and done.
What's it feel like?
Oh, I don't even know yet. I can just tell.
Just having a good time.
You feel good?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely just.
Yeah.
In the couch.
Oh, in the couch for sure.
In the couch.
On the couch. Indica.
Indica.
What about you, Jacob?
Man, it's pretty much the same. I haven't really been anywhere outside of Texas growing up. I've always wanted to see the West. My dad was from California. Never been out there. Like Cody said, Sturgis was the first real place I've been outside of Texas. So, I like scenery. Like everything today that we've seen so far has just blown my mind, dude.
Yeah,
like
it's crazy.
Yeah, you see pictures of it online, you know, wherever, but no picture can do justice what we've seen so far. And it's only day 2. There's so much more to go.
Yeah.
Oh, when we first got our bikes, me and Jacob and another buddy, Chance, we did a couple trips, you know, like Arkansas, Hot Springs, you know, did the Talamina, you know, just kind of,
I think that was our first ride was Talamina.
Yeah, we camped in, Beaver's Bend the first night, did Talamina, rode over to, we got to Mina and realized they didn't sell fucking beer, so it was like, fuck this shit. We either drive 2 hours north to Hot Springs or back to Texarkana, so we hauled ass Texarkana so we could fucking get some beer. But
what about so like on this trip though, like I mean we've all kind of like dreamed about it or daydreamed about it, because even like what we've done today, like I've never ridden this shit, so this is all first for me. A lot of the other stuff we'll be doing in Cali and shit, I've ridden that, but like this, and I haven't even driven most of this, you know what I mean? So it's really new for me as well. So, but what, other than what we've already done today, which we'll talk about later, what's some of the shit that you guys are really looking forward to experiencing on the trip? Whether it is a certain city, a certain ride, the event, or
I'd have to say Monument Valley.
Yeah.
That's probably the number one thing I'm ready to go see.
Yeah, is it just because we talk so much about it?
yeah, Forrest
You're
Gump.
gonna be disappointed.
Forrest Gump.
No, I would say my biggest is PCH. I think I want to ride PCH.
Yeah,
I think that'd be fucking legit.
No, you took that one right out my mind.
Yeah, I think
thing.
PCH is gonna be fucking cool.
A few years ago, I was back in California for work, and I had the opportunity to drive, actually, PCH from LA down to San Diego. And the whole time when you're driving, really, that's kind of anytime I drive anywhere, I'm like, this would be better on 2 wheels.
Absolutely.
And no, it's one of those things that I've forever wanted to take PCH north to south, south to north, either way, and do it on a motorcycle. So much so that it's kind of become like my fantasy in a sense. Like it's the real mecca. And
are you putting the pussy on the pedestal?
No, I took it as far, like, to me it's really, it's kind of the experience that kind of captivates motorcycling for so many. And it's so picturesque that it's I don't know, it becomes dreamy, it becomes exotic, it becomes everything that for people outside of California that get to enjoy it all the time, it becomes something that is just a fantasy in a sense. And to be able to experience that fantasy, to live it out, I mean, shit, I got that shit tattooed across my back. It is what people who ride motorcycles, I think, when they want to travel, when they want to just do a little bit more than their, in-town stuff,
Yeah.
It's like, man, where would I really want to go? And that, to me, that's it's been that for years, for a long time.
I think a lot of it is, for me, is which I've talked to y'all several times about it. You know, when I kind of started the little bike night in East Texas, is that we don't have a lot of culture out there.
Yeah.
Like I have it's pretty much hog members out there. It's older crowd, you know, it's club style shit or whatever. But
club style Texas shit.
Yeah, club style Texas shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have like 4 or 5 friends that have bikes. Yeah. And like I said, trying to get them all together to go on a ride is fucking damn near impossible.
Yeah.
So I want to experience. I've kind of been around y'all enough. I experienced the Dallas culture, which I think y'all. I mean, compared to us, y'all have a damn good culture. But I really want to experience the whole California bike riding culture out there. You know, because I mean we talked about this the other night. They're always like 2 years ahead of us. You know, or as far as their styling or what, you know, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's the hub of most motorcycle parts manufacturing and all that, and where a lot of the style comes from. I mean, obviously there's different styles that come from all over the country.
Right.
You know, big wheel shit started more in Arizona than anything, but you know, Cali does just kind of. The crazy thing is, like, in Cali, you can go to any street, take a picture on it, and it looks like you're a fucking movie star. You know what I mean? It's just got everything about the landscape is what just makes the place so kind of desirable or epic or however you want to.
And the weather's pretty fucking good.
Yeah,
so.
The weather's good. It's just a place to be. You know what I mean? So
the thing that I've always dug about the Cali culture, if you will, is that it's embraced in the community more so than I feel a lot of other places. Right, they're motorcycling in the state is not you're not an outlier. You're not necessarily an afterthought. A lot of motorcycle businesses are more mainstream on the West Coast, and I think that to me, when I talk about the dream, I talk about the whole, not just riding a road, but I think about living that type of lifestyle in a sense where what we do is not an afterthought. You know, it's not such a minute fraction of everything. You know, it is really something that a community embraces, swallows. The state allows the lane splitting. You know, they're acknowledging motorcycles in a way that so many others don't, and I've always appreciated that big time.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Matt?
So I don't know. All these destinations that we're talking about are always something that I've either wanted to go to or recently realized that it would be a really awesome experience to do. But even like today, just our random little switch in the direction we were going ended up being a really good experience. Pretty much, you know, I've always wanted to go ride around in Cali, and PCH, just like everyone says, is probably one of the big things I want to do. I don't know, just everything that you see in movies and stuff, and you're like, I'm going to experience that. It's, I don't know, it's just one of those things that it just brings something out in everyone when they actually experience it, and they, like, this almost like a dream that's coming to life.
Yeah.
You know, and Cali has so much of that, you know, all across that we're hitting up. But not just that, like, you know, like going to go to the Salt Flats. That's,
yeah.
I mean, all the high-speed records set there. You know, all the amazing pictures, all the shots, and it's just everything about this trip. You know, it's only just one section of the country, though.
Yeah, that's what's weird. That's what's crazy about it. How much?
So much more to see.
Yeah, there's so much shit. I mean, and hell, even just being in Colorado, there's so many areas that we could go to, and I mean, I think we're gonna do a pretty good job of knocking a lot of shit off the Colorado list.
Yeah,
but you know, it's a lot of space when you go west. It's a lot of space in between things.
Yeah.
So you end up filling up a lot of days with just traveling to get to the next area that has the cool shit. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, I mean, right now where we're at, tomorrow we're basically doing 400 plus miles just to get to Wendover. I mean, we're gonna see cool shit again tomorrow, but I mean, Salt Lake City and the Salt Flats are kind of probably the highlights of that. You know what I mean? And then after that, it's just fucking 400 miles of nothing to Reno. So,
well, how long did it take us to get to fucking Raton before we even seen something half-assed pretty?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little surprised by that, quite honestly. I mean, I knew, right, going into it, the mileage was going to be there, and I understood that Texas is flat, and I'd have ridden it plenty, but it's when you actually make that ride, like, it was kind of wild how it was just almost a task in a sense to escape the flatness, the mundaneness.
Texas,
Texas. It's almost like
so massive.
You really have to work for scenery.
100%.
You know what I mean? It's like,
and we live on the far fucking east side of Texas, so we got to ride all the way across that bitch.
Yeah, so it's really strange when you you know, all of us basically being from the same area in Texas, talking about traveling on a bike and shit. It's you know, I think you had mentioned a while ago, James, about like some people that wake up every day and get to see a badass mountain that they can ride sometimes or not at all, or
they probably take it for granted too.
Yeah, you know, but that shit might be they might have grown up with that, so it might be completely, you know, not as much of a dream to them. Maybe their dream is to ride across some fucking cornfields in Texas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's true.
I hope not.
Go to the Midwest for that.
Dream big, kids.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's like that's why a lot of people in California don't, you know, they have it there. So it's like,
they don't need to leave the state.
Yeah,
I can understand that. But at the same time, I will say that although, you know, California is revered for what it is, and that rightfully so, but what we are doing, just this concept, the idea of traveling with friends, spending a good chunk of time with one another 24/7, crossing state lines, night, day, night. It's a different type of experience, you know. You can ride as many mountains, as many seasides, as many lakes, anything that you want, but this, like, we are experiencing so many different dynamics of this country, and we're doing it together. Right. And that's the coolest part of what this trip is.
One thing that for sure happens is, like, you know, I've ridden the Cali stuff a lot, and the times that I've done it with multiple people on trips, you know, like other friends I've done these trips with. So even sometimes I'll be having that new experience with a new set of friends, or it's probably the worst way to say it, but a new just group of people. But it does kind of put me back in a mindset of like, oh, I remember the last time I was on this with so and so and so, and it kind of like helps glue that memory down in your in your hard drive, basically, of just each time you experience a PCH. Because honestly, it's almost different each time, you know.
But you'll remember each time. Yeah, it's like too.
Yeah, exactly. Like each time I've gone to Cali, I've had, you know, I've gone to the same spots. I've had different experiences, and some of that's due to either the people that I went with or the circumstances of the time of year, the weather, the things that we did there. Like there's always a different experience you can have, you know. So, and then now what's cool about this new age is like having, you know, whether it's this podcast or just the Fast Life Garage thing getting, you know, a little bigger. It's like it's cool having so many people that are, you know, wanting to link up and do shit. So it's kind of cool. Like we're friends, we're doing our thing, but then we go there and we make more friends.
Right.
You know.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely.
I think that shit's cool because then it gives you more of a reason. Like fuck, man. Like literally, I wanted to go to Reno to see, you know, the TPJ dude. You know, and he, you know, Brian's letting us camp in his yard, and that shit's cool as fuck to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the friendships that you want to make with people on the road. You know, because you never know when that guy might come to your town, and you know, then you need to be the host.
Hit him up. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So, what about you?
Oh man, I'm just
boy, to the moon.
How many? Did you just take one gummy, or did you take
just one?
Okay.
Yeah.
He's still here.
No, I'm definitely here. So I just really want to see the West Coast, the lifestyle out there.
Yeah.
You know, riding down the ocean is going to be freaking awesome. You know, I think,
It's
You
crazy.
see it-
It's crazy how fantasized that is, like you said.
Yeah.
Like how it's really just romanticized and fantasized, or however you want to say it, to become such a like obviously you got to have a vision of yourself doing it, right? You see yourself doing it,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and you know what I mean. So
Dreaming about that
No,
shit.
you're fine. I was just, you see it on TV all the time, and I just really want to go see if it's like, the vision I have.
What they make it
Yeah,
out
yeah.
to be, or yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Go back to being high, dude. What you, Jacob?
Shit.
Man, yeah, I mean, pretty much what everybody else has said. Just seeing the culture and the lifestyle and riding the roads and stuff. Like I said, I'm just a big scenery person, man. That's one of the greatest things. What really got me wanting to do this is going out and seeing the Midwest and seeing all the people,
Yeah.
scenery.
And I'll say what we did today was shit badass too.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
it's
like I said,
unreal.
It's only day 2. It's hard to imagine we're going to see anything cooler than what we've seen so far.
and it was badass.
I mean, I know
Pikes
it's
Peak
coming,
was the
but
shit.
Get ready.
It was the shit.
Yeah, so
Talking
so I
about-
guess we could talk about like the 2 days so far. So how did you guys feel about the time frame of waking up early and that waking up and leaving the house at 3 a.m. linking up? Like how was the sleep? How was the day before? Like how excited were you? How did you handle the excitement of like calming yourself to get some kind of rest? You know what I mean?
Well, to me, my week leading up to it was pretty standard up until maybe 3 days in advance. I woke up middle of the night and couldn't go back to sleep because all I'm thinking about is how I'm gonna pack out for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm losing my mind at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm about to have to go to work. I'm just like, I don't leave for 3 days, but I'm running through my mental checklist, right? And I can't shut my brain off. And I know you were making the comments that the night before you got to get fucked up, you got to do something to put yourself at ease. I didn't have that problem. I didn't have that problem. I was running ragged all day just to get myself packed out, get ready, and by the end of the day I was exhausted, so I was out.
Yeah.
But by the time 3 a.m. struck, at 2 a.m. shit at our place, I was energized as a motherfucker. I was up, and I mean, honestly, it was I don't even know how you say it. It was the shortest, longest day I've probably ever had. Like we had a 20
Does
plus
seem like it
hour
went by
day,
kinda fast.
and it was mad fast. I mean, the strategy of waking up early and starting your day early it's almost like you're stealing time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the best way that I could describe it, because so when we rode from say 3 a.m. to when civilization wakes up, 9 o'clock, call it, it's like we stole 6 hours.
Yeah.
And we just gobbled up miles, right? Because there's nobody on the road neither, and we're just taking advantage of all that freedom that we had. And to me, it was a great way to get a jump start on what would have been a long travel day. So yeah, by the end of the day, we obviously we had some breaks and lunch and all that stuff, but we were on motorcycles for almost 16 hours. So it was a long ass day, but it wasn't a painful long. It was such a cool deal. And it was almost all fucking Texas.
No shit. That's what's crazy.
Yeah, Trent actually didn't get to come through on the whole deal. His sprocket or his pulley bolts backed out, and just on the outside. You remember right before that happened, he goes, "Where's halfway at?" And I was like, "It's about 30 miles from here, and 30 miles from there is where his shit happened." And so he made it there, and then he ended up having to get one of the Harley dealerships in Amarillo to come tow it back, and then he ended up bringing it back to Dallas. He's planning on making it to Born Free still, if they get it fixed or some shit like that. But it just,
I hope so.
it's crazy, man. Like you can, I've always said this, if you're going west, like, El Paso is just under halfway to LA. And so for us going to Colorado Springs yesterday, it was halfway, was just outside of Amarillo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a lot, but that's the thing, is like that part is kind of boring,
Yeah.
And so by doing a lot of that at night, getting it out of the way, using that energy that you have, that you've been bottling up because you want to do this trip, that excitement, it'll help you. It's almost like you're in a state of like adrenaline. You know what I mean? So you don't feel the pain of this boring ass ride that we're doing right now.
Absolutely.
And sometimes the
Well,
coolest
that's why
part,
you always want to knock out the first day. Your long day needs to be the first day.
yeah, like think about how shitty it would be if like you left Dallas at 8 a.m. right, and you just made it to Amarillo and you packed it out for the night, and then now the next day you have to make it. You know, you're gonna do. I'm still kind of hurting from the 350 yesterday. Let's just do 200 today.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're not getting very far. You know, and making good time of like your vacation or whatever the hell it is that you're using to do this trip. So.
Well, all the miles are gonna stack up on your other days that you're on vacation because you gotta make time somewhere.
Exactly.
Part of the excitement too is to push yourself, right? If you're doing some of the things that are unknown, that you've never done or that you've never had the opportunity to try to see if you can do, if you don't push yourself, you just take the easy way out, you know, let's call it quits at 250, let's call it quits at 350, then you might as well mail it in right away, because you're going to have a bunch of short days and I don't think you'll ever fully feel satisfied or fulfilled, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even though we talk about how basically West Texas sucked and we pushed through, but the hell if it didn't feel good as hell by the time we hit New Mexico. We start getting milestones, then we hit Colorado. Like these are achievements, milestones within a trip, you know, within a day. And we're just going to have more and more of those. And I think that's one of the cool things, that you start capturing smaller things, smaller observations, within a whole, 14 days. It's pretty cool.
Well,
how was it?
Speaking on leading up to a trip, I had a pretty fucked up week.
Oh yeah, get into that.
The week before.
So we're at Texas Hills.
Yeah, Texas Hills. Come back on Sunday, which is a good time. Come back on Sunday. I didn't have to go to work till.
Your bike was tripping out. Like you got that worked on. Right?
I had a fucking intake leak.
Yeah.
So I thought it was the intake gaskets going into the cylinders, but I took it to the Harley shop, of course, because it's under warranty, and
you fucked up.
I hate to say this, but because I sound like a dumbass, but end up taking it in. They got it in. They called me the next day. Which was weird, because he called me and he's like, oh yeah, both your intake gaskets going to your cylinder need to be replaced. I was like, all right, replace them. Replaced them. They said, we only have one, have to order it, be here next day, blah, blah, blah. So, ended up calling me back the next day and said, well, that didn't fix it, but we found an intake leak. I installed the air cleaner on it. Well, I guess there's some bracket that comes from factory that you're supposed to take off behind it.
Yeah.
I didn't take that fucking bracket off, so it was sticking the air cleaner out a little bit too far, and it was sucking air right there, and it was idling weird.
Because of what you just said, the fact that the dealership both took it off and then put it back on as well,
and didn't fucking see it,
makes them equally just as dumb.
So I'm like I said, I'm not a mechanic, but.
But you got a Craftsman set.
Yeah.
Got it at a White Elephant party, huh?
Yeah, but it. They called me, so of course they said, oh, we can't cover that on warranty because it's something you done. So whatever. $150 later, whatever. Bike's ready. But got back from Texas Hills on Sunday. I was off Monday. Had to go back to work Tuesday. Well, fucking Tuesday. I had a safety meeting that morning at 9:30. Woke up, my fucking stomach was hurting, didn't feel good, I went ahead and, went to work, and middle of the safety meeting, just kind of got sick, just nauseous, went outside, threw up, kind of went to the bathroom, cleaned myself up, whatever, went back in, finished up. We finished up 10:45, 11 o'clock. They was fucking feeding us steaks and shit. I missed out on all that. I fucking went to my truck and sat in the air conditioner. I just didn't feel good. And ended up calling my wife. I was like, she's a nurse, so I was like, man, I just don't feel good. I said, something ain't right, I thought that morning, I was like, it's fucking gas pains or something, I just need a shit or fart or something. But she's like, well, you never call me because, you're hurting, and I don't get sick much or whatever. But anyway, went to the little clinic, ER or whatever. They drew blood and did a little CT scan, sonogram deal. Well, fucking end up, doctor came back in and said, we're sending you to the emergency room over at the hospital, and you need to have your appendix removed right now. And I was like, shit, this is Tuesday, and we're leaving next Thursday. So, yep, and went over there, which it was pretty smooth deal. I mean, by the time I got to the hospital, they was waiting on me. We walked straight back. I mean, I was in surgery within 30 minutes, and I think the surgery didn't even take 30 or 45 minutes to do. Home same night, whatever. But kind of scared me. I didn't know how I was gonna feel. I text you guys and said that, I think I'll be all right, because the doctor told me, healing process, for being a young person and, healthy or whatever, that, it should be pretty quick.
Yeah.
So I text y'all, just to let y'all know, and, I still planned on making it, just hoping for the best or whatever. But, I mean, really, the first day was a little rough. And I don't want to admit it to my wife, but she made me pack they gave me some little pain pills, to take if I started hurting or whatever. But she made me pack some pain pills, and I did take one the first day. 750 miles on it was a little rough, but I mean, it all worked out good. I feel fine now.
Yeah.
But it's just, it was a very inconvenient, because I already scheduled my 2 weeks off. And then now that, or I guess our work or whatever don't have short term, don't have light duty, so I couldn't go back to work the whole time. So I got a week to think about this shit, sitting at home, can't do nothing, and like James said, you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning thinking about, shit, do I need to take this or did I take this, So yeah, I had a week to ponder on that shit. And
how was it packing out the lowrider that you're on when you're used to the big wheel with the tour pack? And
well, it was I definitely I bought a sissy bar bag, right? So I didn't, I never had one of them because I had fucking bags and a tour pack.
Yeah.
So I never had to have that shit. So but it wasn't bad. I ended up getting that sissy bar bag before we went to Texas Hills because my wife went with me. So. I mean, actually, man, I got more clothes and shit in that sissy bar bag than I thought I would,
Yeah.
I think I brought plenty. I got like 6 or 7 pairs of clothes in there, so
yeah.
I mean, that's
good enough.
That's pretty damn good, But no, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all, really.
Man, come on.
I think you just shit
Slow,
yourself.
Sheriff.
But yeah, it's the anticipation, just especially when you're off for a week waiting on this shit, you're like,
Gotta be tough.
I'm just like, sitting at home like, God, the days are just dragging, you just want to be like, damn, can it get here already? And we rode up. So I had that surgery Tuesday night. We ended up riding up. James opened up his house to me and Jacob and Larry to come up Wednesday night, which is only like 2 hours for us to y'all. So we rode up Wednesday night, stayed with James, shot the shit with him for a little while. I think we ended up crashing at like 11:30. But man, it's anytime I'm going on a trip, anytime I'm going on vacation, with my wife, it don't matter, bike trip, whatever, out of the country, Mexico, whatever. I can never sleep the night before. I'm always just like up, like just ready to go. You're excited, your adrenaline's pumping, you're just ready. And so I think, like I said, went to bed like 11:30, 11:45. I think I woke up at like 1:30, woke up at 2, and just like pumped. Like I set my alarm just in case, but I didn't need to. I was already up. I was ready. Damn.
You're a fucking child, dude.
That so much gonna itch when it dries.
Yeah, fucking that pasta a while ago, man. It's a crazy thing, man. Like trying to do these trips and try to like get enough rest, because I've done a trip before where I planned to do all this shit and then I couldn't sleep. You know, I literally laid in bed from like 6 p.m. until 1 o'clock, and I'm like, okay, I was planning on leaving at 3. It's 1 o'clock. I haven't even I can't sleep. I might as well just leave, and then leave now, and then maybe I'll get tired and I'll stop at a truck stop or some shit and just kind of like crash for an hour there or some shit. But it's tough, man.
So how was it this time for you?
It wasn't bad. I mean, we've had we moved out of that apartment in downtown Dallas. We moved out to the suburbs or the country, whichever one you want to look at it as. And so
you don't live in the country.
I was gonna say, I don't think your country's the same as our country.
Yeah. But that the move was all good. I was able to get done with the projects at work, so bills were paid, money was in the bank to do this trip, and it was really just like a time, like trying to kill time. You know what I mean? Trying to spend time with the wife, trying to make sure that everything's going to be taken care of at the shop. Because just like Jacob here, I don't, if I'm not at work, I don't make any money. So I had to pretty much pay all the bills for the month before I left. So saving for that for the last couple of months, on top of having spending money, is kind of a tough time thing. But I'm pretty stacked right now, so I think I'm gonna do okay.
Oh shit!
Hey,
we can change that quick.
Yeah, fuck, we keep eating out like this.
Let's go.
What about you, Matt? How was the lead up?
It was actually really stressful. Part of it was just me being hard on myself on certain things, but it's like I had a lot of stuff to do at work to get done, and then like the Monday before we left was that Sunday was that storm, and the power was out for Monday, so I couldn't go into work to finish anything. So I had to knock everything out Tuesday and Wednesday, and ended up not getting everything done just because of time.
It was a lot of work, yeah.
And but at the same time, it was just me just wanting to make sure to get everything done and putting it on myself like that. But after I realized like it's not going to happen and everything, then basically it just went away, and I was good and just finished packing up, get everything set up on the bike. Then that's when the excitement hit, and I didn't go to bed till probably 10:30, 11, and I woke up at 1 and then tried to go back to sleep 1:30 and 2, finally up, and I was out. So it was, I don't know, big trips like this, I get too excited, and so once I wake up, it's hard for me to relax.
Did any of y'all have like a point where you really felt like you were falling asleep on the ride?
Hell no.
No.
Shit,
I did.
I did it today. After we ate in Breckenridge on that little trip, I was like, shit, kind of dozing a little bit. I was like, damn, I need to wake up.
I thought you had something pretty unique, Matt. That was pretty cool because you, like you said, you just felt the excitement. You kind of wore that shit on your sleeve for a while leading up to it, and clearly you have a pretty close relationship with your coworkers. Tell people what happened with that. I thought that was pretty unique.
Yeah, that was really cool of them. It was a handful of them. They all chipped in, wrote a little card for me to safe travels and everything, but then they also donated some gas money for me.
Oh, that's cool.
I think it's dope.
To fire some people.
Yeah, maybe I won't have a job when I get back and they know it. So yeah, that was real cool. They, I've been talking about this trip. We were talking about the trip for almost a year, and we didn't really finalize anything till earlier this year. So, but I just kept talking to everybody about doing trips and stuff, and they knew I was really excited, so they wanted to chip in on and help me out.
That's cool.
I think that's the best way to really look at, like, when you see grown men kind of light up over things, like, we don't really do it the same like when we're young. So the things that really excite us and get us worked up, it's something that you can see just like oozing out at people, right? That excites them. It's a joy in their life. It's a point of excitement, and I think that's really cool when people pick up on that and they can actually see like that's part of what you are. So like when we were talking earlier about describe what this means, it is damn near impossible to put it into words, but when you see it written all over somebody's face, all over their actions, everything that they're doing leading up to this in life. It's just a really cool way to actually see the things that are important to people and make a big difference.
Yeah,
it's
for
cool.
sure. What about you, Larry?
Oh my
That
god,
was stressful, man. Running around, trying to make sure the bike's ready,
Oh,
getting
that's right.
everything packed.
So
Shit, he went back.
that deal that you got, I thought was awesome. What was it? What's the Harley dealership name?
The Moonshine
Harley in Nashville, right?
Yeah.
How they built your 114 and done it all, did all the work, used the S&S cam plate you already had, right?
Yeah, had that. They used that part. I got the 475 S&S cam and some other stuff.
And they did all the work, and they warranted it from the dealership. So that dealership gave you a personal warranty for 2 years.
Yeah, outside of Harley, they said if anything happens in 2 years, just bring it back. We'll fix it, no questions asked. But you got to take it up there, so it's kind of a pain to get it back and forth. And they want you to use them for their services.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. But it's better if you could. So
with Harley's like bullshit going on with all their service stuff, and it's kind of nice to see a dealership find a way to take care of customers.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but anyway, go ahead with that.
Where we're at?
How far was it
Man, it was I think about 9.5 hours
to get his bike there?
to get it up there. I left last weekend. Friday, got off work, jumped in the rental truck, hauled ass. Got a buddy of mine, Jeff, and we kind of swapped up driving a little bit. Went straight there, and then we slept in the parking lot for 2 hours. They fixed the bike, some stuff they had to do, and some maintenance parts and stuff.
Did you buy the bike from them, or did you buy
No,
it?
I bought it from the Tyler dealership.
Oh, okay.
But it was stressful. We got up there, slept 2 hours. They did their thing, come back, drove straight back again. And then I guess I got back early Sunday morning. And then we were leaving out on Wednesday. Well, I had to ride my bike to work, get it packed up by Tuesday night.
Yeah.
So I was running around, no sleep, trying to focus at work, but then also looking up Harley parts, just stuff to do. And then
I thought it was impressive that they built that whole bike and was done with it in 8 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got there, dropped it off. I think they pulled it back around 9:20. And so
Didn't they have to come pick it up from you to put something on and do a service on
No,
it?
that's what I took it back last weekend for. They were going to, but it was getting, close to deadline for leaving, so I wanted to make sure it was done.
Yeah.
And they told me if I'd come up there, they'd do some other stuff for me for free and make it worth my while. So yeah, we just rushed up there and done that.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was busy, trying to get prepared.
Yeah, so he had to work Wednesday, and he didn't get off that's why we left at 4:30, because as soon as he got off, he already had his bike packed at work. We met him down the road and headed to Dallas.
What about you? Was it easy going?
And actually, it was real easy compared to what I usually do.
Why'd you lean my way? I seen you before you farted.
That was a really good one.
Yeah, I'm so used to being so busy, like 14-hour days every day, and then I took off this Monday before we left, and then my wife and kids, they left for Florida Sunday, so I've been sitting at home all week, just idle time, nothing to do. Had everything packed, ready to go. I've been outside mowing the yard, just trying to keep myself busy getting to this point, but had to get everybody lined out at work so they don't blow my phone up. I mean, you can ask Cody. Anytime we go anywhere, I have to pull over 300 times to answer phone calls. If this person needs to go
Good
here.
thing you got that Lexan.
Shout out to Lexan.
Oh, man.
I ain't had to pull over once so far. But they took care of it. I got everybody pretty well lined out where they're not calling and blowing my phone up. But I still had to take a couple phone calls, but nothing crazy where I've had to stop and deal with anything too bad.
Did you take them with the headset thing set up?
Oh yeah.
How's that going?
It works great, man.
Yeah, that shit is good. My daughter
Shit's
called
so
me
dope.
today, and I took a phone call from her with that headset shit, and she called me and I declined it because I'm not used to having the headset.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I was riding, we had just left that gas station at over there by Pikes Peak thing where we were at.
Yeah.
And so she called me. I was like, fuck. Oh, I was like, oh yeah, I got this. So I'm like, with those fucking gloves, trying to like touch the screen and shit.
Call her back
and like connect to the Lexan and shit. And I called her and talked to her for a minute. She was trying to come down to see me for Father's Day. I was like, oh shit, that's this weekend. So
Oh yeah, I caught flack over that one.
yeah,
But yeah, it works
But
great, man.
it's Father's Day, so like we get to do what the fuck we want, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
What do you think about them gloves?
The
Mr. No
thrashing.
glove wearing ass, yeah.
Well,
Also,
I
you
always
on
wear
gloves,
gloves. Well, I wear gloves in you know, I kind of always do. I just don't wear them around like the short riding. Well, like I wear gloves when I go out of town because I don't want to get sunburned.
Yeah.
You know, and I usually wear a lot of long sleeves even when it's hot, just so I'm not getting burnt up.
Yeah.
I don't like the way it feels when you have a ton of like sunscreen on all the time,
Yeah.
especially when you're camping and shit. You know,
sticky, icky looking.
yeah, you
feeling
never have like
shit.
you never really know what kind of shower you're gonna get if you're gonna get a shower at a campsite.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't want to like lather my body in fucking oils and shit. Like it's getting kind of sexy. Huh?
Oh, hey.
I ain't got no problem with it.
No, but just like I don't know. But no, I got those thrashing gloves because they were just simple and clean and fucking easy to throw on and keep the sun off of them. And they're not gonna protect anything.
No.
But
Hey, they're another layer of skin.
Down, bro.
Don't say it wouldn't protect nothing. I went down with my thrashing gloves and I didn't get shit on my hands, so I'm good.
Oh shit.
should have some thrashing socks. Maybe your shoes would have stayed on.
No. Go on, put on some non-burning socks. That might work.
Yeah.
And
So-
I hate that weird fucking. So I wear, long rides. I wear gloves, long sleeve, but you know how your long sleeve will kind of ride up just a little bit of
Yeah, and
behind
get
the
the air
glove.
coming through.
And
It's so
you
annoying.
get this one little fucking 2-inch band around your wrist that gets burnt. It's weird.
So today, after we got there, we went to we did Pikes Peak this morning, right?
Yeah.
So
Some of us.
Some of us did.
Oh, shots at the Jace, bro.
I have no shame in this, dude. I've always I was fucking with Jesse about that shit all the time. You know what I mean? Because I asked him if he wanted to hit the Pikes Peak a long time ago when we were driving by, and he's like, "Oh, fuck that! I'm gonna freak out." It's like, "You little pussy, blah blah blah," all that stuff, dude. We got up there to those narrow roads without the rails on them, and I couldn't see anything but sky to the right of me. I felt like I was riding into fucking heaven or hell or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And it was just like the air was so thin, and I was having a hard time like breathing. And then on top of that, and then just not seeing shit, and the wind starts blowing. I'm on two wheels. I'm like,
We were stuck behind that slow van
Yeah,
too.
Fucking slow.
You have
it's
Jesse
poor, man.
in your mind saying,
dude, I got
told
it in
you
my
so.
head real quick, and I was like going, and I don't really have anxiety or all that shit really, but I think I do in that situation, because I'll be honest with you, today I regret it. Like riding here later, I was like, fuck man, I wish I would have found a way to like maybe chill for a minute and then keep going, right? But I was just like over it. At the time, sitting on the side of that mountain, I was like, I don't really give a shit anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's high enough for me. I got some great pictures, great view. I don't need to take a picture with the sign.
Yeah.
I can Photoshop myself into that.
Man, it really turned out good for
yeah.
us, didn't it, James?
It wasn't about the sign. It wasn't about the sign. When it like you said, it's like you're riding into heaven, and it is easily the highest deal I've ever ripped on. And you just kept going up into the clouds, and it was just a crystal perfect sky today. This morning when we went,
Yeah.
and man, when we got there, it was almost like I was almost overcome a little bit. Like this,
Well, we didn't think we was going to go to the top at first.
we didn't.
You're supposed
Yeah,
to
the way
stop
that
3 miles.
Correct.
Mile 16,
It's
and
a-
it's a 19
It's
mile
a
ride.
19-mile road, and they've got construction going on at the top. So they're only letting people go up to 16
They're parking it kind of limited.
and making everybody park and say that you got to shuttle to the top. Well, I had made a phone call probably a month in advance and kind of got the down low that people on the mountain kind of make those choices.
Yeah.
So when we got to 16, I went up to the guy that was kind of the gatekeeper. I'm like, hey man, what do we got to do to take our 2 wheels up as opposed to jumping in one of these vans? And he's like, listen, there's like no parking up there, which there really wasn't. There's not a whole lot of parking up there. They got big land movers going up there. It's pretty righteous.
Yeah.
But he's like, if you want to go and just ride to the top, there's no parking. You can ride up there, turn right around, and come back. I was like, we'll take it.
Yeah. Was it dirt roads and shit?
It was not. So it was paved all the way to the top. I mean, we giddy at that point, right?
Oh,
I'm like,
fuck
oh
yeah.
my god,
Hell yeah.
we're gonna do this. So
I didn't have like any type of like
hell no.
No.
edge of the
Hell
fucking
no.
mountain type thing.
I was
Dude,
on
I
the
did.
edge, dude. That was one of the coolest parts to me. Like especially when we were coming down,
dude.
Yeah, he
I was
scared the
on
shit
the
out of me one
edge
time
looking
coming down.
over the
Oh,
edge
man.
because you can see. So it's just a bunch of S turns, right?
Yeah.
So every layer that you go up,
You can
when you get to the top, you're looking down at like 16 layers of S turns, and it's like that is the coolest shit ever. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
I got a bad fear of heights, so I focused on the road as hard as I could. I wasn't looking nowhere. I stayed staring at the road, and then as we were coming down where he's talking about, he's riding on. It freaked me out. Like I about locked up watching him get on the edge. I was like, oh no,
he got
no.
He got a little close one time. I was like, oh shit, that's coming down.
Dude,
but
the first two, because I only hit like 2 or 3 of the S turns going like when it got narrow and shit.
Yeah.
And I was doing the same thing. I was trying to just focus on the road, but we were stuck behind that slow ass car, so it was really hard to keep the bike. Not to keep it up, but just like you're literally
Well,
just
you're clutch and
you're
go,
dragging
clutch and
the
go.
clutch,
Yeah.
dragging the clutch,
Yeah.
and you're on this steep ass incline,
Yeah.
and there's nothing to the right of you. It's like if there was just trees or something, I'd have been fine. But because there was just pavement and then sky, it was freaking me out, man.
yeah,
And so I'm like, just don't look up, don't look. And then that gave me, I guess, anxiety or whatever. It gave me like, it started freaking me out more because that's all I was thinking about.
yeah.
I didn't know that I would be that way going up. And then when I'm sitting there at that spot, watching chicks ride up on Harleys,
Or the
and
bicycles.
I was about to say the bicycles.
Yeah, mountain bikers.
bicycles, and people driving up in those fucking like Can-Am spiders and
Yeah,
shit. And I'm
yeah.
like, God damn it.
I don't get sketchy with. I mean, I don't like heights, but I don't get sketchy with heights unless I'm on like a sketchy platform.
I'm not sketchy
it was
with
a road,
heights, man.
so I was like,
I don't know what it
didn't bother
was.
me at all.
I really don't. I don't know if it was a combination of the wind, which wasn't bad. It was just like, I guess it was kind of like since we had so much wind yesterday
Yeah.
riding, that it was like that gust hit me, and I just automatically assumed that it's going to get worse the taller we got.
It was Gus yesterday.
It got a little
blowing us
bit.
half
There was a
lane
couple
over.
spots that got gusty in between the S turns and stuff, but it wasn't near as bad as it
No,
was
yeah,
coming
nothing like
through
yesterday.
fucking outside of what Dalhart
Yeah.
is when we started getting a lot of wind.
Yeah. I'm. I kind of do regret not doing the whole thing, but I don't know.
I didn't have an expectation going into Pikes Peak. I knew I wanted to do it, and I knew it was going to be cool, right? But to me, it was one of the places that we were stopping and having an opportunity to experience along this trip. Well, I mean, I know we're only 2 days in, but it is easily a big highlight at this point because it was
Sure.
it was something that I didn't expect.
Yeah.
It was something I didn't expect. We didn't even know if we were going to get a chance to do it, number one, because
Right.
the weather was not looking very great. So it kind of just all worked out for us, and I think that kind of made it even more of an experience because, I don't know, when you have something that kind of hits you with that sort of impact, that is just that cool, and you don't really expect it. I think it just has even more of a magnitude behind it, you know what I mean?
And you're talking about weather, like for people listening, you don't understand. At the bottom, it's about 80 degrees. When we got to the top, it's 33 with a wind chill of 22.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a 30-minute ride difference here.
It's wild. It's wild. How do you switch? I mean,
Yeah.
altitude is a real thing. How do you switch 40 degrees, 50 degrees? It was pretty cool.
Well, when that guy told James that we could ride to the top, turn around, and come back, and then so we talked and was like, well, we're just gonna ride to the top, turn around, come back, and then we'll catch a shuttle back up there to take pictures and shit. So, but when we got to the top, there's this big ass flashing sign that says 30-minute limit.
Yeah.
So we looked at each other and was like, fuck this, we're about to park and we're just gonna take all our pictures right now.
Yeah.
We did, and it was pretty cool. And there was definitely a limited amount of space up there, but it was almost like
Did y'all get the donuts?
No, we didn't.
There's a bunch of people walking around with that. I didn't know that was a thing.
Supposedly there's an altitude donut up there that
There
they make
was.
that's like supposed to be
Well,
special.
there's a bunch of people eating them.
We spoke with some hikers
Yeah.
that had gone up, and they were doing that exact thing. And like I said, so we rode up on fucking motorcycles, but the people that were really impressive were the people that they spent a full 24 hours hiking up goddamn Pikes Peak.
One guy
or
was,
the guy that
it was his birthday today, 60 years old.
Birthday.
Yeah.
Him and his wife hiked up to the top.
Pretty incredible.
Fucking Coloradians, man.
But it's just, you could tell that because these were people that were coming from all over the world to experience what we just got to experience, and it was pretty cool.
It was crazy. There was a map I was looking at when I was waiting on y'all to come back down. I was in the gift shop, and there was, I guess there's 50 different in those couple of mountain ranges that we were just riding through today. There's 14,000 feet peaks or some shit like that.
That's the only one they put a road up.
No, there's Mount Evans or something?
Yeah,
you can ride. Is it taller?
It's supposed to be the tallest point or paved road in North America.
That's right. You were saying that earlier. That's right.
So, fuck that. That's cool. Whoever, if you ride that, awesome. You deserve a something. I don't know.
High five.
High five.
I was thinking during those same type of curves and stuff like that were wigging you out. I was thinking to myself people race up this stuff.
Yeah, dude.
People drift around these motherfucking those guys are just crazy when they do that stuff. That's it. I mean,
no guardrails.
There's a tight turn, and then there's
guardrails.
a Pikes Peak tight turn. It's just a loop. It loops around. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I mean, everything's low speeds. Don't get me wrong. It's not like we're ripping. This guy we met. Oh Lord, you know how motorcycle riders love to over exaggerate. My God, this guy is such a liar. He's like, "Hey man, I like y'all's Dynas." Thanks. Yeah, I used to have one, but don't no more.
I wish I was on that instead of my electric glide.
Right. Last time I was here, I was on my Dyna. Went down this motherfucker at 60 or 70 miles an hour. I'm like, you lying?
He just went down the ski slope.
There's no way he's going down that thing at 70 miles an hour.
He's passing fucking racers on that motherfucker, casual, laid back.
Big old exaggerations. Love it. Love them.
Where you at?
I'm good.
Are you still here?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
You're staring off over there.
He's just having a good
You seem a
time.
little paranoid.
Shit, I'm just chilling.
Police ain't coming, man.
He's staring at these cars going down the interstate, having
That
the best
dog
time.
can smell your drugs, dude. It's coming for you.
Why don't you talk a little bit about kind of the way that we deviated from our original plan after we did Pikes Peak?
Yeah, so Pikes Peak. Well, first off, Matt's bike over here has been having starting issues. We ended up, while we were waiting on you guys, we ended up found out it was the coil.
Yeah, the ignition coil.
Ignition coil's going out. So you pretty much have to jump start or push start the bike, which I do not understand how that. I feel like if the coil is going out, then the whole bike should not work at all.
Yeah.
But apparently you can push start it. So we were looking at that. We were kind of a little bit, not necessarily held back at all from that, but just trying to figure that out. And then it looked like we knew we were going to go to we were going to go to Breckenridge and have lunch. So we went ahead and mapped that out and did that. And we actually ended up having a really cool spot that we found to stop and take pictures at, where you just kind of come out of the one mountain range, and there's this massive valley, and all the mountains on the other side of the valley just covered in snow and shit, which was really nice. Got to Breckenridge, had the pizza, was checking on the weather, and then we were planning on making up to Steamboat Springs tonight, and then it was just, we're going to be getting rained on.
Severe storms.
Heavy, right, yeah.
And we really wanted to go there because of, Adam. He was one of the dudes that did the road tripping podcast, the first one. He had talked about it, and we were all kind of stoked about going there. And then it was from there, it would have been a straight beeline shot to Salt Lake City and all that shit. So we ended up just finding another route that kind of kept us dry. And what's this highway again? 70?
70.
We ended up taking 70 and coming down here to. We were planning on going to what is this?
Rifle.
But we ended up stopping and finding a campground before. But what was really awesome about this whole thing was did not know this road existed, but to me, as someone that has ridden a lot of these nice roads, I've really enjoyed this spot through this. I don't know if we figured out what the place was called.
Glenwood.
Is it Glenwood Canyon?
Yeah, Glenwood Canyon.
So it's just part of the interstate. Like the interstate is following the Colorado River through this canyon. There's tunnels. There's like an upper and a lower deck. There's really,
a train going by.
Yeah, it really feels like it's should be some scenic road in the Swiss Alps. You know what I mean? And you're sitting here riding this. You can see the rapids in the fucking water. You're deep in this fucking canyon. You know what I mean? And the roads are just nice and windy around. You just following the river. And it wasn't a fast ride. I mean, we kind of would probably take it a little bit fast, but it was just like, it was just nice. It was a very transcendental type riding, you know what I mean?
It's not nothing you picture when you say interstate, by no means.
Yeah, like,
Hell no.
you look, this is the same interstate that it was, and you're seeing these, 18-wheelers and all this shit going by. Like, that road was like one of the top roads I've ever ridden on. You know?
Really was. Because I think a lot of times when you ride, regardless of where you ride, you tend to ride past things, like they're in the distance, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was like man-made blast through the mountains. You rode through a mountain.
Yeah.
You had a tunnel dug in a mountain. Like, it was, I don't know, it was just super cool. And then, like you said, you got the raging Colorado right next to it, because it's high as fuck right now. Yeah. And it was just, man, it was just cool. It was really, and it was so unexpected.
Yeah, and it wasn't even something we planned. We stumbled upon it. And I guess the weird thing is, like, nobody's ever like mentioned that part. You think about all these great rides everybody's always talking about, and then maybe it's just because it's a major interstate that people ride all the time. They just don't, look at it the same way that you would on a bike or the way we did, not knowing it existed. So
maybe when a lot of
it was
people
completely different than what we were doing all the morning before.
Dude, I'll tell you what, we were coming down a Vail. I was sick of mountains, dude. Yeah. At that point, I was like, okay, I'm fucking over this shit. Yeah. Like,
not me.
See, and that's what I was saying earlier. Like, when you're riding, you just like in that canyon, just the colors, you can see the layers of the rock and everything. Seeing that water, and it was cool that train was going through there too. Mm-hmm. And it was just this whole experience. I've never experienced that before, and it was just amazing going through there.
The fucking postcard.
It gets a little sketchy because you want to keep looking at it, but you have to focus on the road too.
Yeah, and there's really nowhere to pull off. That's the only thing that sucks.
Yeah, it was just guardrails.
But it was really nice, man. Like, I was able, me and Cody were riding next to each other on that one. We all kind of got split up, but we were able to ride it just faster than the cars, but still with enough. To me, I felt like I had enough control to be able to still look at the rapids and the river and the canyons and soak it all up in without feeling like I'm a wreck. So,
and it had the longer swooping, the curves than the real tight, Yeah,
you're taking corners at 70, 80, 90,
right,
as opposed to first gear.
Yeah, so. I said swooping.
Swooping? I thought about it when you said that. He's swooping?
He's swooping. But yeah, it was nice. It was unexpected, and I guess that's what's cool about Colorado is that you can pretty much just take any road and it's going to be pretty badass.
Yeah, definitely noticed that so far.
So what do y'all think, what else? How do y'all liking the bikes? Like, how does the bikes feel? This is the first time you guys have done it on,
Shit, I'm loving mine.
Compared to the big wheel.
I mean, being able to do over 85 is awesome. So, being able to pretty much keep up, with the group and just being able to do what you want on it. I mean, just you can throw that thing around however you want, and it just sticks and goes. It's not a pain to fight. It's awesome. I love it.
Man, mine's been feeling sluggish today. I don't know
Dude,
if it's
mine
the
is, too.
altitude or
Altitude sickness, bruh.
man. It's definitely sluggish compared to what it usually is.
Well, I know my issues, so.
Yeah, that's what was weird because there was a couple times where I was trying to overtake some cars, or trucks, whatever we were going through, and I would drop a gear and hit it, and it just like felt like it had.
It just felt like it just dragged far.
Nothing,
like,
dude. I was like, what the fuck? And it's crazy because like when you're, we left, like we hit that valley and shit. We're still high as fuck in altitude.
Oh yeah.
Compared to, I mean, think about it. Like we were in that valley. We didn't drop down that low into that valley, right? And then we went back up that little hill or the little summit to go into Breckenridge.
Right.
But technically, ever since we hit Vail, we've been going downhill.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're still going downhill
That's
now.
why it got warmer.
Yeah, it got way warmer.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like I guess I was thinking about this when we were going through this. Is like I've never ridden in this high of an altitude.
Right.
Like I think I've maybe done a pass or something before, like through Cali or even some southern parts of Colorado and New Mexico and stuff. But like consistently, riding hundreds of miles at like 8,000 to 10,000 feet.
Right.
Like I don't think I've ever done that until today.
That tuner you have on your bike, is it like an auto adjust?
It is an
or
auto tune, but to be honest with you, like
it probably takes a while to get.
I don't know. I honestly.
I think the air's just so thin. Like there's nothing to
Like it,
calibrate or nothing to tune
it to,
Right.
Like I don't know. Like I don't know if there's enough air period to make it blow up. So.
I don't know enough about that.
But once we started coming down the hill, man, it started waking back up again, and I don't know. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I was thinking it would. They're all fuel injected bikes. I just figured it would adjust itself, but. Like you said, the air's so thin up here, I don't think it can adjust
Well, I
itself
think,
to a point.
I know it's adjusted itself. I mean, our bikes all ran. We didn't have to stop and, adjust it.
Readjust the jets or anything.
Fuck, dude, we were on carburetors. We'd all had to stop and fucking, play with that screw and shit. So,
yeah. It was a big difference coming down. I guess it was about when we got to Vail, huh? It started getting warming up.
Well, Vail, Vail, I think is, somewhere around there.
It started.
So we started going downhill in Vail.
It started getting. Yeah, it felt like it got 10, 15 degrees warmer, and I was like, oh, thank God. Because we caught a little rain before that, and I was like, oh, I hope this don't last long, because it was already cold.
Yeah, it was kind of the thing about this trip is that we're going to be in so much like hot areas, and all of us are on. We don't have like huge pack outs and shit.
Right.
So it's really hard to pack full leathers and shit like that to take on a trip like this when you're only going to use it for 2 days.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, those 2 days that you need it, you're thinking about it, but at the same time, it's like I'd hate to lug it around for the next 12 days.
Yeah, when you know you're not going to need it.
But so what else is going on?
And not going on there.
Loving the highway right now.
Those
Feel like
lights
we
right there
should've-
got me. You don't see it? See them flashing back and forth like your alarm, like when your alarm when your bike's going off. It's like
What is
two
that like
fucking,
from?
It's like two fucking blinkers over there just flashing away.
I think I'm gonna take one of those gummies.
It's just got me mesmerized.
I want to be on your level.
Yeah.
That's it.
We need to go fuck with the neighbors, see if they're down to party.
I'm telling you, they got
There's
the
a
fire
pit,
going.
Yeah.
Who's the most charismatic person here?
James. I don't even like talking after him. He's so well spoken and stuff. I'm like,
That's what a college education will get you.
Yeah. Damn you, James.
Come on, Mr. Banker.
Make us look bad.
The most charismatic person on this trip didn't make it on the trip.
Yeah.
Trent.
Oh, Jaden, man.
Oh, Jaden.
He's charismatic in a different way.
Oh, man, he's wild.
No, honestly, so we're 2 days in, and I'm looking big time forward to the next 12.
For sure.
But I'm mega bummed that Trent already had a misfortune. I'm praying that nothing else happens and that this really does turn out to be the trip that we all want it to be.
Yeah.
And, certainly won't be the last time we'll talk about it, but we could talk about this forever.
Right.
Really
For sure.
could.
Yeah, tomorrow's
we
going to
got
be a
a
good
beer
day
already?
for me when I get my new part.
You didn't buy any?
What, beer?
You sat there and drank all mine, or what?
time?
I did drink all yours.
They sell till 12, she said. If we need
midnight.
any
Is
more.
that gas station still open?
It's 11:55.
Yeah, what time do they close?
She said 12. They quit selling at 12.
Oh,
Hey, tell them to hold it.
Caller.
Tell them to set us a pack outside.
You can't, dude. It's across the highway. I can hit a golf ball over there.
Shoot.
Go on, Larry.
Larry ain't
Call
driving
him
Larry
nowhere.
could probably see a golf ball right now.
I don't know who to call.
Just go on a bike.
Ghostbusters.
You want him to go?
Hell no.
I'm glad I still got 2 beers left. 3 actually. So
And I'm looking at that PBR like,
I'll sell you one.
Let's send Jacob's ass in the rifle.
Drink that motherfucker and say, try me, Jacob.
Maybe rifle sells longer.
Yeah. So we got.
shit, I got whiskey in my saddlebag.
Oh, shit. No.
Damn.
Is it Jack Fire?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it's so good.
He's brought all the good shit. Whiskey, beef jerky.
I'm having to sit by it down.
They ain't bring no Coke.
Too crinkly.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola, not.
Cold. Clarification.
Trying to party?
Maybe our neighbors. He just hit the hole.
Oh, gotcha.
You're
Oh,
right.
you hit the hole?
I hit the hole. Yeah, I made sure I packed the essentials, jerky and whiskey.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah. So tomorrow, I think I'm pretty excited to hit up the Salt Flats, man. Like
Hell yeah.
last year when me and my wife drove through, it was really surreal being on the salt and shit like that. And hoping, I don't think there'd be an issue for us to take our bikes out on it and stuff like that. I think it's pretty easy going when it comes to that because they don't have anybody there regulating anything. It's just a big flat piece of fucking
Yeah.
salt.
Just gotta wash that shit off afterwards.
Yeah, like we'll have to literally go after that too somewhere and just get that salt off. But
You need to get these motherfuckers washed anyway.
Yeah, they're
already
fucking
been
nasty.
through rain,
But-
mud.
I don't know. It's kind of cool because it's gonna be a 430-mile day tomorrow, and so by the time we get there, it should be late afternoon. Like the sun should be going down or getting ready to. So I think it'll be pretty. I got some ideas that I like we were talking about earlier. Some visions of how I would like to try to get photographed out there, like of the bike or riding it or whatever the case may be, and capturing that kind of shit for this trip. So, and that's that.
Where are we staying at tomorrow?
We don't know
Freestyle,
yet.
baby. I think that's one of the cool parts about it, that we have definitely some committed itinerary items, but we have some freestyle days too, just like today. So it allows us some flexibility when it's needed, and it paid off for us today, big time.
Yeah.
Dude.
If we had a hotel booked or something like that, we've been
Obligated to go to
we
ride
would
through the rain.
biting it, yeah, and
Or we would have to just like hope that there was cancellation of availability or
Yeah.
how that works, and
that's never the case.
yeah, they had a 20% restocking fee.
Yeah.
Well, shit, we're good, dudes. We're gonna hopefully we can do this again here in a couple days after we've done some more shit.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Definitely catch up. What are you thinking, like every 2 days to do it, or
Well,
maybe at the end?
No, I think we'll do probably. It depends, like we don't want to ruin a camp experience by forcing us to sit right here, and do this. But we're gonna be camping quite a bit on this trip, so maybe we'll do it at Big Sur.
I mean, it's a pretty long trip too.
Oh,
so.
I can't wait for Big Sur. I can't wait.
I mean, Big Sur is gonna be after all the NorCal, right? So we'll be doing all the NorCal shit and all this stuff that we're talking about now, and PCH will be. We would have ridden half of the PCH part, right? So you'll get some of that in there.
Yeah.
But once the sun goes down at Big Sur, I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do because you can't see shit.
We're gonna huddle together and stay warm.
Yeah.
Get that coastal breeze coming off you.
Yeah.
We're gonna get Larry on cocaine so he'll wait.
So what now?
Give him some uppers.
I got my upper in the bag. The other gummy.
Wait, didn't they decriminalize
Got the
shrooms?
gummies in the bag.
Sacramento did, I think. No, Oakland.
Oakland, yeah.
Decriminalized mushrooms. But
Wait, what about here?
yeah, they did. The whole state.
All of Colorado.
The whole state of Colorado decriminalized it. But how does one city decriminalize something like?
Yes. Yeah, you.
I think it's funny that they picked Oakland.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, it's weird. Anyway, all right, guys. We'll catch up again. So, peace.
Peace.
I really hope you guys enjoyed that. Sorry, we were outside on a campsite table alongside the highway. I think we talked about it in the podcast, but it was a great experience. We just sat out there, had some beers, and a couple of them had some edibles and other things like that, and we just did the Colorado experience. So really thank you guys for checking out this podcast, man, and hopefully you're checking out our sponsors as well. John Jessup Dream Rides, you can check him out on Instagram at I don't even know his Instagram. I'm horrible at this, but you can go to his website, which is going to be a lot more better for you. teamdreamrides.com. They're in Stockton, California, right off Wilson Way in the Bay Area, or NorCal. I don't know which Stockton's considered, but he can take care of everything you need on your bike. So check him out. Also check out bigbearperformance.com. Kevin's going to get you any information you need on any of the suspension products and the direction you need to take your bike to get it dialed in to carve those corners that I think we all want, right? So check him out, bigbearperformance.com. If you want to give him a call, 909-478-7788. I also want to thank Paint Huffer Metal Flake, doing all the stuff they do for us, keeping us, flaky and all that good mess. PaintHuffer.com if you want to check out the products and stuff they have, and you can use the code FASTLIFE for 15% off. Also, don't forget to follow them on Paint Huffer Metal Flake on Instagram. I also want to thank my boy Mark at Texas Performance MC. My dude takes care of me, and he is one of my best friends. So you guys should be checking him out as well at TexasPerformanceMC.com, as well as Texas Performance MC on Instagram. And you can always check him out in Cedar Park, Texas. Great time. Good riding over there. And don't forget about my guys at Lindahl Brakes. You can check them out at lindahlbrakes.com and use FastLife at checkout for 10% off brake rotors, brake pads, the whole 9 yards. And if you want to go the route that I went, I would do the wave cut rotors with the Gold Plus, I think it is, pads. And man, it's great. It's a really good combination. Gives it a really good curb appeal look, and it also does what it needs to do, is stop your big ass motherfucking bike. So check them out, Lindahl Brakes on Instagram. And also, guys, like I said before, please don't hesitate to check out our website, fastlifegarage.com. And if you're interested, check out our Patreon. $1 really does go a long way, when all you guys do it. Or, whatever you want to do, man, we appreciate it. And like I said, this podcast is still young, it's growing, and as it grows, we're going to do more for everybody that's involved with it, and so also don't forget, guys, we're going to be at Born Free. Hopefully, if you see me, you say something, and I'd love to meet anybody on this trip that listens to this podcast. It's very humbling, and it's very awesome to meet you guys. And I don't know if I'm going to get this out today or not, but it's Monday, and we're on our way from Reno to Brentwood. And I think we're going to be setting up at just having some beers and hanging out at the Wild Idol in Byron. So if you're in the NorCal area and you want to come out and hang out and drink a couple beers and just talk and shoot the shit, just come through. Really appreciate it. I'd love for my Texas homies to kind of just get the NorCal experience, and it's like my second home, and I really would like to blend the two together, so anyway, you guys have a good week, and we'll catch up with you. Peace.